I'm Rachel Adams Gonzalez, and I have so many things that I want to make sure that I convey because I came to this event last January when I was pregnant, and it so heavily influenced me that I want to make sure that I have the same effect. But I have so many things to tell you, and hopefully I can have this story come together in a cohesive manner, but we'll see. Bear with me. I don't remember the first time I heard about water birth, but I knew that that's what I wanted to do if I ever had children. And I don't know why, but I always just thought of an unmedicated birth as a rite of passage into being a mother and a woman, and that was just part of it. And since the beginning of time, that's what women did, so why can't I do it? In 2007, I was in a car accident here in San Diego, and it left me with a fusion in my thoracic spine of T11, T12. I have 2 rods and 4 screws, and one of my main concerns was, how is this going to affect me when I'm pregnant and have a baby? And everyone kept telling me, don't worry, you can still get an epidural. And I kept saying, I don't want an epidural. I just want to know, is this going to make labor a lot worse? Is this going to make my pregnancy a lot worse? How is this going to affect me? I just want to know. So that was one of my biggest concerns in general. And so then when I did become pregnant, then it was convincing my husband, that has a very Western medicine science background as a toxicologist, that we could do this outside the hospital. Hospital was a scary thought to me. So we visited Best Start and loved it, thought it was a perfect compromise for our situation. We weren't 100% ready for home birth, and I definitely didn't want a hospital, so that's where we ended up. So I have a wonderful acupuncturist, Dr. Helen who treated me all through my back issues and before that. And so I saw her as soon as I was pregnant, and she helped me get through those initial back issues. And then I educated myself on different yoga positions, and the Bradley method has a lot of different stretches to help you prepare for labor. And I did those every single night religiously, and the couple nights that I missed, I paid for it the next day, and that really helped keep my spinal pain in check. Then I ran into my second trimester posterior pelvic pain, which apparently is very common, where it's just like excruciating pain in your pelvis. And I saw a chiropractor that didn't do anything. Then acupuncturist wasn't able to help too much with that. And when I was visiting my parents in Dallas, my mom took me to her chiropractor that uses strictly the activator technique, and you'll hear about that in a little bit. But one visit, and I was fine for the rest of my pregnancy. It was magical. And so, let's see, I lost my spot. And I also found out that my darling child, who was born able to hold his head up, was strong enough at 5 months in womb to kick 3 ribs out of place. And so that was another event. So when we were preparing for birth, we decided that we wanted to do birthing from within classes from Sunshine. And I had been reading, all through my pregnancy, mentally preparing myself, reminding myself that this is something that I can do. My husband had the books. I'm not sure if he read them, but I felt very strongly that it was something that we needed to do to help him mentally prepare. We did it at the very end of the last trimester, and I think it was extremely beneficial for him. We did a lot of, exercises on how to handle labor, and I've been through a lot of pain, so I kind of knew how I was going to react, but it was really good for him to kind of help go through those motions. And so then it came to deciding who would attend the birth. And we really thought, when I first got pregnant, that we would want his parents and my parents and several friends. And as the pregnancy progressed, we were like, no, this is not going to work. So we asked one of our very dear friends, Marin, and my mother to be there. I really wanted my father to be there too, but he's an accountant, and David was born March 23rd in the middle of tax season, so he took the first flight out, and we went over rules, so to speak, with my mother, and reminded her of Frank's role, she needed to step back, and Marion was a big help in supporting Frank, making sure that I got food and water and those kind of things, whatever I wanted. So, the weeks before I went into labor, I started having some contractions, just randomly here and there, and I was terrified of having to go to the hospital, I mentioned before, and they started around 36 weeks. Best Start won't let you give birth there before 37 weeks or after 42 weeks. So I was very pleased when David decided to come at 12:33 a.m. on his due date. And my contractions started, they seemed pretty strong. I'd never given birth. I didn't really know what to expect. They were 6 minutes apart, and I had just laid down to go to bed, and I said, I'm just going to get in the bath. There's no way I'm getting any sleep. Frank was freaking out. We have to call. They said, you have to wait an hour. We're going to wait an hour. No. So I get in the bath. They jumped to 3 minutes, and they were like 1 minute and 20 seconds, and I guess they were strong. They seemed strong to me, but finally he calls, and they're like, this is your first baby. No, just leave her at home as long as you can, and we'll call you back in like an hour or so and see how you're doing. I think around 2, I decided I'm not sure if I can be in a car that much longer. It's only been an hour and a half, but I'm not sure. So Frank called them back, and they reminded me, if you're not very dilated, you're going to want to go back home. So I told them, I don't know if I can be in the car. We just have to go. So we got there around 3 o'clock, and I was 8 centimeters. So I had arranged for my acupuncturist to be on call so that if it was just horrible, she could come in. But labor was progressing so quickly, and I was already, reaching transition when I got to Best Start, that I just didn't want anybody touching me. So I at least had that backup, and that was a really huge ease mentally in preparing for labor. So when I got there, that was, I kind of just went into labor land, as they call it, and never opened my eyes again until he came out. I just kept visualizing David moving down and out through my body and telling myself that every contraction was probably the last one. Then I get to that rest period that they say you get. I'm not sure if I ever got that, but so let's see. As Laura mentioned, the sensation of pushing is unreal. It's something that is just your body takes over. You don't have any control over it. It just knows what it's doing, and that baby's coming. So my very loving husband knelt next to the tub through the whole thing, and it had completely slipped my mind that he had a torn rotator cuff on the shoulder that I kept pulling up on with every single push, but he did not complain once. And Susan and Sarah, the midwives that were there, kept telling me I could use the side of the tub for leverage to push, but I did not want any pressure. I just wanted to float and push. I don't know how I was able to push a baby out just floating in the water, but I did it.